Jatin Shah, who was running a printing press in Ahmedabad, was doing well. But when the lockdown was imposed in March 2020, it had changed the course of his entire life as it nosedived. Till now, his Adeshwar multiprint had big and good clients, but after the arrival of COVID, luck turned. His business came to a standstill for 6 months due to COVID. Just as he had recovered slightly from the first wave, the second wave hit. Before COVID, the annual turnover of his company was about rupees 5 crore, which came down to less than rupees 3 crore. That is, it got reduced by about 50%. The situation was improving in 2021, but as the year progressed, the Omicron variant of Corona started playing havoc. Jatin says the condition of printing industry was already bad. Those who are doing business by taking loans from banks are not in a position to repay the loan. With the closure of schools, work from home and the absence of big events, a lot of printing work has stopped. Instead of ordering big brochures, people are now working with PDF. The fate of other small-sized companies has been even worse. The impact of COVID wiped out the existence of many such enterprises. MSME sector provides the largest number of jobs in the country after agriculture. It gives employment to an estimated 11 crore people. It contributes 30% to GDP and 48% to exports. In such a situation, when such enterprises had to close, the livelihood of lakhs of employees was also snatched away. According to a survey by MSMEX, a consultancy organization for the MSME sector, about 70% of the enterprises were badly affected by the second wave of COVID. 50% said that they have yet not recovered from the two waves of COVID-19, while about 43% said that they had to change their business model to avoid loss due to pandemic. Separate surveys showed that during the first wave, small industries recorded a drop of 75% of their average capacity to 13%. Enterprises retained only 44% of their workforce and 68% of enterprises could not last for more than 3 months. After COVID, small companies not only faced problem of repayment of debt, but due to shortage of coal, increase in raw material prices, increase in cost price by up to 150% and increase in freight rates, the entire business model came crashing down. What did they receive during the last budget? After COVID, the government measures were limited to providing cheap loans to small units. In the budget for 2021-22, the government doubled the allocation for MSME sector to rupees 15,700 crore. A fund of rupees 10,000 crore was also created for the provision of loan guarantee. The most important of these was the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, that is ECLGS, launched in 2020. According to a report by SBI Research, the scheme has saved 13.5 lakh enterprises from bankruptcy and 1.5 crore jobs have been saved. The government had also announced a fund last year to infuse an equity of rupees 50,000 crore in MSMEs, but it has not been made operational yet. Bank loans were accessible to small units, but due to business uncertainty, many people like Jatin did not come forward. In the later months, the banks also tightened their regulations, making it difficult to get loans. Entrepreneurs like Jatin believe that there are many problems not only due to COVID, but also due to GST. The government has tightened tax collection, while instead concessions should have been given. Small entrepreneurs wanted to be exempted from paying all kinds of government bills during COVID, which would help them save working capital. Jatin wants the government to change the structure of GST in the budget. This change should be made keeping in mind the small industries. The restructuring of rates should be in such a way that the raw material of small units can be made available for cheap. If the government can exempt it from GST on a turnover up to 5 crores, then it will be a big benefit to all. Businesses will pick up speed if the exemption from mandatory GST registration for selling goods online for enterprises with a turnover of less than 40 lakh is given. Jatin fully agrees with the industry organizations that micro enterprises with a turnover of up to Rs 5 crore should be exempted from GST for 12 months. 80% of the banks still demand security in the loan, which also needs to be changed so that it will be easy to get a loan.